News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM. This is KFYO Mornings. Dave King and Matt Martin here. And it is Thursday. And looking at the clock, it's 7:35, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for the Car Pro. Good morning, Jerry Reynolds.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm just doing fine. Thank you very much. A little chilly here.
I was going to say, is it cooling off over there?
Yeah, boy, it pulled me out of bed about 5 o'clock this morning with rain and wind and hail. And the temperature dropped about 40 degrees. But other than that, everything is lovely in Dallas, Texas.
There you go. So what are you driving this week?
I've got the 2019 Chevy Equinox, which is their compact SUV, although this one is a little bigger than most of them in this class. It's a little bit wider and it's a little bit longer than most compact SUVs. Stacks up very nicely with the Ford Escape. This is the Premier Edition, which is the top of the line, and it is all-wheel drive. It's got a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with a turbocharger. So it's putting out 252 horses, which is ample in an SUV this size. Good backseat room. Very surprising for a compact. And it's got good cargo area in the rear. Runs and drives very well. Handles good. Very quiet inside. I had the 2018 very early on. It was actually in the year of 2017. And it had a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder. It was just a little bit underpowered. So I was eager to get behind the wheel of this 2-liter, and it really made a huge difference. I mean, you can get up on the freeways really, really easy, and yet it's getting over 30 miles to the gallon out on the highway. And that's kind of the trend we're seeing these days with turbochargers. You know, when you kick that turbo in, this thing really picks up and goes, but when you're driving it normally, you're getting really good gas mileage, which spurred me to write an article that will be up on my website later today, carprousa.com, about, it's titled Don't Fear the Supercharger, but really what I go into is the use today of turbochargers and superchargers and the difference between today and 20 years ago, because a lot of people still have bad memories from the early turbos. And it's all different now. I mean, they're all intercooled. That was the biggest problem in the old days, that, you know, you just can't be afraid of these things because turbochargers are here to stay.
I was going to say, they're the next generation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Ford's been pushing their EcoBoost engines for 9 years now, and they've been wildly reliable. And I'll tell you, that car company won't have a vehicle that doesn't have a turbocharger or a supercharger probably by the end of this year. Just about. They're phasing all the old engines out and redoing them, trying to, you know, get better fuel economy.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the only way to keep it in the fuel economy range they need.
Yeah, it is, and it makes a lot of difference in the fuel economy if you drive them right. You know, a turbocharger or supercharger, if you've got a heavy foot, isn't going to help you with fuel economy. I mean, you just got to drive them right, and you learn when you test as many cars as I do, what a huge difference 10 miles per hour makes out on the highway in fuel economy. I mean, the difference between 75 and 85 on the highway is drastic. And then same can be said from 65 to 75. So, yeah, turbochargers are here to stay, and I think that's a good thing. I like the way they perform. Some of the really hot cars I've had in recent times that have had 2 turbos on them, like that Mercedes last week. By the way, that review is up along with the video at the website.
Yeah, I know. You jumped from you had a what was it, a McLaren, then a Mercedes, and then now you're in an Equinox.
Welcome to the life of a car reviewer. That's just the way it works. From week to week, and you got to drive them all. You know, that McLaren was a blast, and that Mercedes was so doggone fast that I had a ball with it. But, you know, I actually would rather drive cars that people are actually going to buy. And that's one of the things that I struggle with these factories when they send me cars, because I tell them I would rather not have the top of the line. I want the package that's going to be the volume. I want the ones that my listeners are going to want to go out and buy or can afford to buy. But by and large, because they want good reviews, they typically send you the top of the line like this Equinox is. But it's a nice SUV.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what was the sticker price on that Equinox?
It's $39,100. Now, this is a vehicle that historically is carried heavy incentives, and as we've talked about right here several times now, I'm seeing these factories price these vehicles up on the window sticker to leave themselves room for big incentives. And I think that's the case here. The actual transaction price on this one at a dealership, if you negotiate a good deal, is probably less than $35,000. And that's kind of the going rate for SUVs this size.
Okay, let me how would this this was kind of a wonder that I had. Some of these newer vehicles are coming out with all-wheel drives. Your Subaru's been doing an all-wheel drive for a very long time. How do the new all-wheel drives compare to the Subaru?
I think Subaru's got the absolute best all-wheel drive system until you get up into some vehicles like Land Rovers and that sort of thing. Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system works well because it's a no-brainer. You don't have to do anything. It does everything for you. If it feels any slippage in a wheel at all, it'll engage itself. And then you take this Equinox here, you've got to engage all-wheel drive. So there's a button that you've got to push to make it happen. And I think that's the biggest difference, because sometimes by the time you realize you need it and you got to hit that button, sometimes it's too late.
Yeah.
And that's what I think has made Subaru so successful is you just drive the car and it'll do itself, without any issues at all. Their system is phenomenal.
So what do you got going on CarProUSA.com?
Well, a little bit later today, I've got the automaker commercials that aired during the Super Bowl. There were 5 of those. Several of them did really well. A couple of them didn't. The Kia ad was, and this is based on Cars.com traffic to their websites.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Hyundai ad, within 30 minutes of that ad airing, their traffic to look at Hyundais was up 1,800%. On the other end of that spectrum, the Kia commercial, which they took their commercial was serious this year. There was nothing funny or anything about it. Their traffic at Cars.com actually dropped 14% after that ad ran. So it's
the ad was so bad that they lost traffic.
I bet they'd like to have those millions back.
Well, don't you know? We got the January sales results, so I break them down by brand, and also the best-selling SUVs for 2019, which, of course, is only 1 month into it. But you can kind of get a feel for what's out there. And then the Chicago Auto Show's going on. It starts today, open to the public today. And there'll be a lot of reveals out of that. So we'll have that for you next week.
All right, it sounds good. Jerry, thank you so much for coming on. You'll be on our Saturdays right here on KFYO 95.1 FM, 790 AM from 11 to 1. And if you want to check out everything that we've been talking about, except for the Equinox, it comes out on Monday. But if you want to check out what we've been talking about, it's CarProUSA.com.
There you go. You got to stay warm.
All right, thanks, Jerry. Have a good day.
All right. And that's the Car Pro for this week. Back with more after this.